Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome to the Tuesday stream, where it's the beginning of the start of a preview for an event, and this is going to be an Earth Commander event. And if you take a look at the news feed as well as some of the art that have been shown on Facebook, it's going to be a Halloween deck, and it's also a throwback really to some of the previous deck that we've seen. And Vishal, nice to see you in the stream as usual. So welcome here. And so what I wanted to do is talk about the deck itself, and you can also see that it's a bingo vault. So we will also cover that a little bit. But I think one of the questions that I wanted to help answer is how viable and how relevant is a Halloween style deck in today's meta, and also kind of explain what it really means. I think a lot of people who are new will probably not have the context behind what people mean when they say Halloween type deck. And so I'm going to talk about that and also talk about how this deck compares to the previous ones that we've seen and how they play together, and also whether this is something that is worth going after or not. So we got J-Hub and Joseph in the house as well. So welcome to stream here. And so Joseph, you like it, but not great for guild versus guild. I think that there are aspects of it that would have been really good if they kept if they had kept the essence of the Generation 2 deck. Then I think it would have been really good. And so I definitely agree with you there. But I think it does have good. I think the deck itself does have a good viability for sustain. That means it's a type of deck where if you have the cards, you can actually use it in future decks with other cards as well, and I'll explain the reason why. And so we got Candy Spim and Do, as well as Lee and Catherine Carafini. Welcome to stream, everybody. Thanks for joining me here. And so before we begin, if anybody is actually in my my channel for network, I have a mini contest that's going on. It's a pumpkin carving contest, so take a look in there for details so that you can see what it's all about. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by talking about the cards, and we're going to compare this to the previous previous releases of these Halloween type decks, and kind of go over what's different and what's good about this one. And so the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Master Collection card. This is the Count, and it is a Earth Spirit card. So if you have an Earth Spirit Slayer relic, this could be used so you can get a free revive if you have that the relic. So Spirit for Earth Spirit is generally a good it's a good type to have, just because you can take advantage of the relic there. And this is the card that's going to give you up to 27 power gems. So this is not an unlimited power gems, because there is an upper bound of 300 skill points, and it doesn't fill up the board. So remember that the board is 7x5, so you can get 35 gems, and this will only create 27 per card. At the heart of it, it seems like that's not a lot, but if you think about it, this is a single card that can basically fill up the board with Generation 2s. And so we don't really have any other cards in Generation 3 of its type that does this, okay? And so so just by sheer power alone of a single card, this is still going to be a card that can generate more power gems compared to the other ones. It is going to take a little bit longer because of the skill point requirement, and it has a 4-turn cooldown, but it's a lot better than the previous releases, previous versions of that. And so the Halloween type deck, again, for anybody who's just joining us and anybody who is probably not familiar with it, it's basically the type of mechanic where you keep building up intensity, or the skill points. It used to be intensity, and then a single card will have the ability to fill up the entire board, and it will also upgrade any existing power gems to the next level up. So back then, all the cards generated power gem once. And so if you have 4 of the same cards, at a certain point, you activate all 4 cards, and then you'll have a full board power gem force. Now, with this type of style here, this deck will still be able to do the same thing, but it's not going to be, it will not be a single card filling out the board with power gem once. It is going to be basically a single card that can fill up 3/4 of the board with power gem 2s and so forth. So having a couple of these cards around is going to still get you pretty much a full board power gem force, but it is going to do it a little bit faster depending on the setup that you have. And so Phantom Sky, is it worth the gems? I think, just offhand right now, just kind of thinking, if you don't have any other, if this is the first Earth Slayer commander deck that you're going after, I think that it will be a good deck to use, but it's not going to be the most powerful. And the reason that is because it's going to take some time. So this is not the type of deck I think that you'll be able to just do a ton of damage right away compared to some of the other decks. This deck will take a little bit of a build up. So it's going to take a few turns to really get going. And Death by Design, so thank you for, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us here. And also Paul from Australia, welcome. Thanks for joining us here. So we'll go back to the count here. So this is the card that's going to give you a lot of power gem too. So if you have a couple of Master Collection cards, this is going to be more than sufficient really to get you the power you need. And also you have a passive here that gives you a max health, increase that max health by 50%. So this will also increase your survivability. Although in general, commander events isn't really one where your health is really at the problem, because you're not really going to be going after a ton of ultimate bosses. Most of us won't because of the lack of keys. And so the health here is potentially going to be good for some guild versus guild fights, even though it may not be as good for highest tiers of play. It will probably give the, if you're up against a lower opponent, you can actually survive more hits. And so that is sort of something to consider. It's a chaotic killer as well, and this card will counter attack, so you can know what to expect there. And so the Master Collection card is a good card to have here, and the ultra rare card, which is Sabrina the Entrancing. This card really does the following. It's a heal card, so this card will basically fully heal yourself every 3 turns, and you will also be able to dispel a buff. Now, a buff is what your boss will actually cast on itself. So things like Might, Counterattack is another one, Fear, so and also Dodge. So these are examples of counter sort of buffs that they can actually cast on themselves, and this will always get rid of it. So it's really good if you're going up against a boss that that has counterattack or fear. Those are some really difficult skills to counter. So this would actually completely remove it, and it will also fully heal you as well. And it does have a passive, although this passive is a little bit weaker than the Generation 2 counterpart. In Generation 2, they had a very similar type deck. That is the Fire Halloween deck with Alex and the Baleful Bride. I can show those cards a little bit later too. But this passive basically creates Power Gem 2s when you attack. It doesn't passively generate Power Gems every 4 turns like the other version. The power of the passive gem generation is that you could have a couple of these cards together, and then without actually using the battle skills, you get power gems on the board already, and that's what really helps sort of in the guild versus guild fights. Since this card doesn't have that, it's a little bit weaker in comparison. But this card is going to be really good for your heals. It's going to be good for just just basically you can also continuously attack, so this will also be helpful in something like a golden, the gold trial bosses, for example, where in the beginning you need to keep attacking. The passive ability where it gives you a Earth Commander attack increase by 10%, that's not really important. So the 10% attack increase isn't going to mean a significant amount because it's a commander event, and those attack boosts isn't really as strong. And so let's see, question by Death by Design, do I think that it's as good as Last Earth Commander deck? So the Last Earth Commander deck is the reset deck. I think that if you have a reset deck, you might actually enjoy that a little bit more. This really has that throwback factor for people who have been around a while, who really sort of enjoy the Halloween type deck. This is a really good throwback, and I think that while as a whole, it's not one of the most overpowered decks, I think that the card themselves this deck overall is actually really good for non-investors. Like people who don't want to invest a lot can actually get a lot of utility out of this deck, and I'm going to talk about that in more detail. So let's see. So that's the ultra rare card. Now let's take a look at the support card this time. And the support card here is Sabrina Hallowed Apparition. It actually has a very, very similar ability as the ultra rare card, just slightly less, I believe. So it's 2,000 for the support card, and for the ultra rare card is 3000%. And so you can see that it does the same thing. It also heals, and it also will dispel. It will also dispel any buff. So it does exactly the same thing as a as a support card. That's really good. So you don't need the ultra rare card in this case. With the support card, you'll also get the earth gem creation when you attack. So if you have a few support cards, for example, you can always fill up the board with more gems, which then triggers your relics, and then you can use that to do more attacks every turn. And so this card is a mini version of the ultra rare card, and it's just like the Pumpkin Queen to Baleful Bride. Again, a little bit weaker than the Generation 2 version, but then again, if this was the Generation 2, excuse me, I guess they're trying to balance it out by saying they didn't want this to be completely overpowered. But for a support card, this is a pretty useful card. It does have the spell, and it also gives you gem creation, and it heals you. I think just the support card is going to be sufficient to heal you almost fully. And Belly DBS from Kosovo. Nice, thanks for joining us here. And we got Kegel as well, Pedro, and Sylvie T, Noah Leah, and all these other people that have just joined and saying hi here. So just wanted to say hello here. Loki, do I think they could be added to the Guild vs. Kill attack team later? I think you can use the ultra rare card or the support card even to help with the spell if you needed to dispel something. But I think that if it had the passive spawn, I think it would have been useful. So I'm not sure how it plays well in Guild vs. Guild, to be honest with you, because of the requirement of attacking multiple times. And in Guild vs. Guild, you generally won't have that many turns unless you can do turn delay. So I could probably think about it a little bit more, but I think there are other decks that are going to be more useful for Guild vs. Guild compared to this one. This is not going to be as useful, or at least as effective, I should say. And I believe that this will be a good deck to go with a Camelot. I think Camelot, the support cards for Camelot is definitely a really, really good one to go with, especially if you get the event card. So like I said, this is actually a deck I think is going to be good for free-to-play players, or at least people who don't generally invest a lot. So let's say you were able to get the event card. There's two ways to get the event card. You can get this from earlier tiers in the vault, or you could get it from the trophy collection once you start the event. There's a 25% chance you can get this. So Frankie Patchwork Brawler, this is a reskinned version of Frankenstein. I think that this actually looks much better than the Frankenstein version. I kind of like the that more anime styled look to it. But anyway, so this card, instead of being a nuke damage dealer, what this will do is it will create up to 22 Earth Power Gen 1s. So compared to any other Generation 3 event cards to date, this is absolutely the best event card so far, by far. Okay, let me take it back. There's a Pro Cambrius, I think, is another one that is basically at the top tier of its level for event card because of the damage increase taken by bosses. Whereas this one gives you 22 Earth Power Gen 1s. So having two of them, which a lot of people can have, means you're always going to have at least a full board Power Gem 1s plus Power Gem 2s because it'll upgrade each other. And so basically, if you can get to 300 Earth skill points, you're going to have, a really powerful deck just with the event card. And combined with the support card, you can heal as well as get rid of any, boss buffs. So that's going to be helpful. And it can also be really useful in the Proving Grounds, right? Where you need multiple turns to do something. And if each card is sufficiently powerful enough to build up power gems on the board, then even if one card gets stunned, you could still use the other ones to fill up the board and then do attacks there. So this is going to be helpful in getting more consistent damage. So this is the type of deck where, after a certain point of time, you're going to be able to get pretty good damage overall. And like I said, the combination of the event card plus support cards for this particular deck should be more than sufficient to at least get you through, maybe non-prestige. I would go as far as thinking maybe even prestige 1, you might be okay. right? Of course, nothing beats getting the ultimate form and everything, but I think that this is the type of deck where you're going to, you're going to be able to do relatively well compared to previous events if you didn't pull anything good. Like if you just got the event cards and support cards, you might still be okay compared to the other decks. So this is something that I think is a good thing. It does have also a passive heal, a passive ability to increase the max health. So like, combination of Master Collection card, Ultimate Form, and also the event card is going to give you really high health as well. And so Shark Lore, the deck itself, so that's what I'm doing right here. I'm going to talk about the cards and I'll explain how this works. And so the Devilish Duel is going to be the ultimate form. And like I said before, this is a chaotic killer deck. And so this is going to be much more powerful in that it will create 27 Power Gem 3s. So, the Devilish Duel plus a Master Collection card essentially will give you a full board right there. And this is also going to give you the passive ability to create 3 Earth Power Gem 2s every time you attack. So you combine that with an ultra rare card every time you attack. That's at least 6 Power Gem 4s, Power Gem 2s on the board. So you're going to have continued damage output. And so the passive ability also increases the commander attack by 10% and increases the health by 50%. So all of these will combine. The attack bonus will stack as well. So it's going to be like 20% if you have the ultra rare card plus the ultimate form. So that will also stack there. And so the way that this deck works is basically it's not. It doesn't have a lot of trick to it, to be honest with you. If you have heal issues, then you use the ultra rare card when you need to. In other words, when the boss casts, counter attack, or when it casts might or dodge, then you basically would activate it to either dispel it or dispel it and heal. That's really the use of the ultra rare here. Aside from that, you wouldn't use it for anything else. And then the Master Collection card and the event card and the ultimate form, that's really just, you would basically get more powerful as you attack. And what you want to do is you want to keep attacking because this mechanic depends on attacking. So the way that, this deck works is the more commander skill points you have, the more Earth Power Gems it'll create. So if you look at the ultimate form, for example, it starts with 2 Power Gems. Okay, so it starts with 2 Power Gems, and if you have a Master Collection card as well, that's 4 Power Gems total. And then it will have an additional Power Gem for every 12 Commander skill points. And the way you think about it is, if you have 5 relics, that create that will generate the Earth Commander skill points, that's 25 skill points every time you attack, and that's not including the 10 that you get from the ultimate form and the 10 from the ultra rare, and also you get 10 from support card. So you could potentially get up to 50 per attack. And so if you have 50 per attack, then you're also gaining basically 3 to 4. You're gaining 4 Power Gems every time you attack. And so you're going to be able to build up your Power Gems really quickly. And so it doesn't reset. Unlike the reset deck, where after you use the abilities, they go back down to 0. This will stay because your skill points don't get reduced. So that means you're gonna start with a minimal amount of Power Gems, but then after each attack, the number of Power Gems will go up. So I think that this is one of those decks where if you want more power, then just wait a few more turns before you activate them all, and you're going to see a significant power increase, as opposed to activate everything on turn 2 and then feeling like you're not getting a lot of power out of it. So what you want to do is you actually want to wait a couple of turns. This is the type of deck that will benefit from waiting, but then after that, basically every 4 turns you're cruising with the Power Gem generations. And so what relics do I suggest with the event deck? Generally, if you have an ultimate relic, then you'll want to put that, and obviously you want to use you'll want to use Earth Commander relics. So if you take a look at the relics here, right? So let's take a look at the gears. So if you want to take a look at the Earth Commander, if you have any ultimate relic, then I would put that in there, just because it will always be useful in some way. Like in this case, it doesn't. Well, if you can get the ultimate form. Ultimate relic for this particular event, then it will actually benefit the more Earth Commander ultimate relics you have in there. But what you want to do is you want to just put all of those in there. 1 second. Okay, let me do this afterwards. Okay. And so what you want to do is just put them in, and order wise, it's not really going to matter as much. And so just as long as it's Earth Commander Relic, and obviously you want to use the one from this event. Okay. And let's see, is there any other questions there? So yeah, so it's a lot like the Red Fire Halloween deck as I was mentioning, because if you take a look at the cards, and that is going to be the Fire Special deck. And so the Fire Special, that was Generation 2. That's the one where you had, that's where you had the Baleful Bride as I was mentioning. And what you see here is it has this passive that will always create power gems every 2 turns, right? So it's a really powerful card. If it had been for this Generation 3 deck, it would have been amazing, and I think that would have been a real game changer. But as it is right now, I think that this deck is decent. It is definitely something that I think is very free-to-play friendly, and I think that if you did get the full deck, you will still be able to do really well. And the Ultimate Form and the Master Collection card both will have, both can have good sustain later, because it's one of those decks where you're always going to be attacking, and you're going to be getting more power gems based on the skill point and nothing else. Like, it has no conditions. It's just the more skill points you get, the more damage you'll have, and you're always going to be able to increase your skill points. So this is a deck that's going to give you good power gem creation. Yes, so use any Earth Commander Relic would be good. Obviously, you preferred would be ones that give Spirit bonus. Okay, and so let's see. What I want to do then is talk about how you want to maybe think about spending your gems. So given the last sort of couple of events now, we've seen that at the event start, well, basically at preview time is when you get the initial vault, and then they've started coming up with the anniversary vault 2 events in a row where there's a possibility for you to get something from the previous event. And so the previous event is the reset deck. So we'll take a look at the Earth Commander event from the previous one. Let's take a look here, and that is So for me, I would actually want to try and get the ultra rare for if I can, because I have 3 Master Collection cards with no ultra rare, so I would like to get the Ultimate Form if possible. This deck is going to be really strong still, really viable, really, really good. And Lena, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And also, so there's a chance that you might see that in the next day. And so if you are running short on gems, you might want to consider holding off if you're looking for that. Like I definitely want to, put away at least 300 gems so I can at least do one pull and see if I can get lucky there. But as it is right now, what I will do is I'm going to open up about 3 tiers. I have just enough gems to get 3 tiers. So let's open up and see what we get here. So Brent Keller and Jack, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. All right, so let's try this and see. Now I can also craft the Master Collection card. So I do have the Master Collection card. I have enough dust for it. I actually used the dust for the ultra rare card in the last Slayer event, so I basically have just 400 dust here. So let's see how we do here. And we've got, let's see, in terms of the Master Collection dust, you also get Bingo Ball. We can talk a little bit about that. And there's also, there's the scrolls. So that's the one thing I do need to talk about. So every tier that you get, you're going to get a 6-star scroll. So remember how scrolls work. It's a one-time use item. It's basically a temporary relic. Once you use it, it's gone. But this relic will double the multiplier on all active Earth Commander gems. And so that is actually really big. So Commander gems have this, the way the Commander gems work in terms of the damage boost is that it will actually apply to all of your cards. And so being able to double this will effectively double your damage. And so this is a really good scroll actually, but unfortunately they're not going to last past this event. So this is the event to use them all. So remember, if you don't use it, you will lose it. And so as much as I would like to keep it, use it in those situations that you might find helpful, like Punisher bosses, or maybe even against ultimate bosses if you're going up against them. All right, so 1 down, 2 more to go. Keeping fingers crossed. Thank you, Angel, and thank you very much, Brent, for hoping that get the UR for the the previous event. All right, so let's see tier 2 and see what we get here. Hey, sweetie. I'm still working. Okay. Okay. All right, so we got a relic there, and so I guess this is sort of the thing that I've been doing. My luck has been mostly on relics so far, so I'm getting the relic there, and so that is the support card. I can't tell if I got 2 relics in that one pull. I guess we will confirm that later. And we got 1,000 ultra rare dust. No, just the one. It's always really confusing because like the double, the way that it kind of jumps again when I click on it. So I got a silver reward. That's the guaranteed guaranteed support card, and then the relic. So let's see. So I got 2,800 and 1,400 gems. So that's gonna be enough for me to pull 2 tiers in the next vault. It does come up. So let's see what we get in tier 3 here. So tier 3, where I'm gonna get at least 1 more relic, and hopefully we get. So that's another support card. I was hoping we can pull the event card actually, because that's actually not a bad pull. So this is going to be the event card. And so no ultra rare, no master collection card for me. Like if I had gotten the ultra rare card from a pull, I would have crafted the master collection card. So I definitely would have crafted it for the ultimate form. But because I don't have that, I'm gonna have to think about it. I don't even get the event card. So that's really the sad part. I have 2 relics, but no event team to go with it. I do have 2 support cards. I'm gonna get 2 support cards, and I'll have 1 more from the event. So I'll have 3 support cards. I'm hoping then I'm gonna be able to get the support event card from the collection, because at this point I've run out of gems to pull. So no, so here's where I'm at, right? So I have 1.4. I basically have 1.4 thousand gems or dust for ultra rare, and I'm thinking it may not be a bad idea to just go ahead and craft a master collection card, to be honest with you, because I could even out my dust. Right, I can even out my dust, and then that will actually get me pretty much in line in terms of my master collection card and my ultra rare. For me, it's just kind of like, it's the novelty of it. Like I kind of want to be able to say, oh, I want to be able to use it. I still get a little bit of bonus, and it is, in the spirit of Halloween, I would have liked to do something like that. So I could potentially craft it. I'm always a little hesitant, but what I want to do in this stream is I'm gonna go ahead and do it, because I'm going to show it. So that's, and you can see here, there's now a little confirmation in case that you get, in case you get a little bit of, in case you did it by an accident, where you kind of like press it, then you think, oh no, I don't want to actually go through with it. This gives you a chance to think and to decide whether you want to back out or not. So Mount Fillmore, interesting take. Are you referring to my decision on whether or not to use my dust? I think for me, like I kind of wanted to be able to show how this works anyway. There's no guarantee that I'm going to get the event card, and so I'm going to go ahead and craft this. And so, if there are additional, do I want to craft? No, I don't have any more dust. I'm not going to craft anymore. And so let's go ahead and take a look now. I have 6 cards here. I did clear out some space. And so I think I can actually go ahead and use this. So let's go ahead and try out a deck just to sort of see and see how it goes. So let's see. Loki, you got 1 support, 2 relics, and 3 pulls. I got two supports and 2 relics. So that's what I got. All right. So I just need to clear out 1 card. I actually cleared out 5 before, but then I ended up getting 6 cards. So let's see. Is there anything that? Yeah, I don't need J-Tail. I don't need J-Tail, and also I can clear out Eva as well as Cerulean, so we'll say goodbye to you. And I can go ahead and level up these cards right now. That's going to give me additional... that's going to allow me to get my... my quest points right away, I guess. So Sabrina... so Sabrina, what I can do is combining this with the Grail deck is actually going to be a pretty good option as well. So let's just go ahead and try this out, right? So let's go ahead and put in group 3. I haven't really done any sort of Haven't really decided how I really wanted to organize my groups just yet. So let's see. Question here. You have the dust to craft all. Do I think it's worth it, or should you be patient for Earth Slayer? My personal preference, as you know, is that I would.
Read this. Peppermint.
Peppermints. Okay, go. I'll be right there. So, I kind of lost my place what I was talking about. Let me just read back. So dust, is it worth it? So I think that the dust is my personal preference is slayers. So if you have like the previous ultimate form for Earth Commander, for example, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna do just fine with that deck. And so I'm not sure that it's absolutely necessary to spend all of your dust for it, because the Earth Slayer deck could be a really good one. And my personal preference always is going for the Slayer here. And so I think that saving is always a good option. I'm choosing to use this so that I could one, show how it works, and sort of two, just to even out my dust here. Like, it doesn't really matter for me anyway. I'm not going to be able to craft anything. So let's kind of think about like some of the other options there, right? So if we're talking about like Earth Commander, and let me go by power. So some really good options there for Generation 3. Definitely you'll want to put in so Grail is definitely a really good option for completely free to play option, right? So if this is one that is going to take a little bit longer though. So Sir Gallant Sir Gawain Gallant Sir Gawain is the one that you would use. And what you will find though is that it does take a little bit of time. It is a little bit slower, and it will require you to wait multiple turns, at which point you'll want to attack every single turn. If you're going to be using this combination, it works well, because then when the timer for this card goes down, then you can basically power everything. But since they all create power gem 3s, it's really not going to be you're not going to notice as big of a difference as if you had the event card. So if you have the event card and the Grail cards, you're going to see the improvement of your deck overall by a lot. But with this, you can also I can also put in Willa in there. So I have options. I can put in like, for example, like this might actually be better for me since I have the cards. I might actually be better off just doing this, because this deck I don't need the reset necessarily. Well, I mean I could do that, but I don't. I can use the support card to reset, but I can also do this, right? So that's another example. And then people ask about relics. Well, it's going to be just like something like this, right? You want to use the ones that you got for the event for sure, because that's going to power up your deck a little bit more. And then after that, it's really just whatever you want. I guess whatever power. I think this is going to be I think the bat is the one I need. It's the one that is tech. Yeah, so like basically, whatever cards you have on the team, use those relics to get yourself the power gem 3s, because if you don't match the type, then you're not going to get the power gem 3 creation. So like, here's an example of a team that I could use. Granted, it is all Master Collection cards. These Master Collection cards I got from the 1,000 gem pulls. I got, like, they offered the 1,000 gem pulls multiple times, and then I got 2 of those in 2 of those pulls, but no ultra rare. So I'm hoping for a revival deck, so that a revival vault, so I can hopefully get lucky there. In terms of the collection cards, it's not the greatest. So we got Testera, which is a passive healer, so it's okay. But with all the health that you're gonna get from your cards, and also if you're using the Grail deck, you're not really gonna be worried about healing anyway, because your Grail is gonna heal you just fine. Elastrin is one of the weaker cards. Let me rephrase that. It's a terrible card for a Generation 3 meta, because you're not going to be ever using a ancient relic anymore, a relic that will increase the ancient intensity. You're not going to do that anymore, and so it's not going to help. It does increase the drop rate of your gems, but it's not going to be something that people will be able to use. So I don't like this card. It's just not useful in this meta anymore. You do have a Guru Pachyscept, another healer, and also a passive gem spawner. So I generally like this card, but all 3 of these cards are Testera is, yes, all 3 of these cards are available in the 20 Dust shop as well, if you need it for your shiny Master Collection card. And so that is like my view on those. And then it's a bingo vault, and so this is, sort of like just like last time you play bingo, but the rewards are different. The rewards this time, if you get a full card, you don't get a Master Collection card token anymore. You get a relic for guild versus guild. And so what this will do is a defender relic, and you basically will basically create 4 pumpkins that essentially just makes the gems. They basically just I forget the term now. They petrify the gems, so you can't move them. So it can be very annoying to the attackers. But I wouldn't sacrifice this if you have a full set of cudgels already, for example. So if you don't have one, you can use this. But this is the reward for filling up the board, so it's okay. Yeah. So right now she's my daughter. She's been waiting for me to put on her lip gloss. So we'll do that right afterwards. And so let's see other questions there. And hello mode is going to hurt to wait, but most commander decks aren't useful after event. Yeah. So that's exactly the thing. Commander decks aren't as viable afterwards, but this deck can be useful later on. And for me, like it's a Halloween deck, and so there's sentimental value for me as well, and so I just decided to go ahead and craft there. And so, Morny, could I, if possible, have a look at the deck that you might be able to use? So I will do that on Thursday. So today is not the day where I look at decks right now, but generally on Thursdays is when I would definitely help out, or I can take a look after the stream. And so would I use any Slayers at this event? So I definitely could use Slayers. So the way that I would play this, another option would be to use a Slayer, but generally you have to decide. You always want to use as many Slayers as you can. You want to use at least 3 Slayer cards if you're going to use Slayers in the event, as opposed to 2. So 3 Slayers, 2 Commanders is going to be the best, formula. And this is where if you want to use Dojin as a leader, it might help get your damage boost a little bit. It depends on the Slayer cards you have. But in this particular case, because it's Chaotic Killer, let's take a look here. I believe it's the Unbreakable Sisterhood. So the Unbreakable Sisterhood has Chaotic Killer as well. So this deck would be really good. And this is a deck where let's see. So it'll be Chantel. So the question is whether I would use this or I would do. Where did it go? Or I would use this 3. And then probably I would use the Master Collection card just to get additional commander bonus. So this is where the more commander bonus you can get, the better it is going to be for you. And so I feel like in this case, I might actually get better benefit by using a support card, for example. Another option is if you don't want to use the 3 Slayer cards in here. So for example, like Chantel may not be the ideal, for example. You could also then choose to put in Dojin. Right, so Dojin as a leader. Now what this will allow you to do is this will actually allow the count to get the full damage boost, because it also has a 200% attack increase. And so you're going to get 200% attack increase plus the 300 from Dojin. It just won't get the killer bonus from the Slayer, but Dojin will get the Slayer boost. And so this is where if you're lacking an ultimate form but you have it from the Slayer deck, this is generally how I normally play. But if you have an Earth Ultimate Form deck already for this event, then just use that. You're going to get better damage from that deck than using a Slayer deck here. This is more of a option if you just don't want to invest. If you don't have anything, you can just go ahead and use your Slayer Ultimate Form for commander events. This is the reason why I like Slayer decks, because it has more usability in commander events whenever the killer bonus actually comes in handy. So you can actually do this. So this is another option as well. If you didn't have the count, then what I would do is I would actually just go ahead and put in another support card in this case. Just to get the double, and then I wouldn't put in Dojin because it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for you to try to increase the damage of your commander cards when you have a good Slayer card that can actually do it. And so another option, you could do something like this. So you could, I need to change this layer. So you could probably instead switch it to something to the effect of this, right? And I mean, you could still do this at this point. So you could, but then you're sacrificing 10 commander gem bonus for this. Or if you think about it, you could take Dojin out and put in another support card that would be a sacrifice of, or that'd be an increase of 6 commander gems. And so you're gonna get a little bit better. You're gonna get a little bit of increase in your damage, but then you're gonna have 4 slayers here instead of 3, and so that actually might even out a little bit. So this is another option as well. This is why the Dojin in this case is going to be good, because it's both Slayer and also Commander, so you're going to get that bonus boost. So this would actually be a pretty good deck, and in these situations, when you have a Slayer, predominantly Slayer deck, don't mix your relics. I don't like mixing relics in this case. So instead of trying to combine both Earth Slayer and Earth Commander, just go full Slayer. Full Slayer Relic is going to be the way to go for you in this case, because if you mix and match, you're going to have less power, less gem creations in the beginning, and you're going to dilute your damage boost by a significant amount. Because you're not going to be able to boost everything. It'll be different if you're using like a Dojin's Axe, but if you're using Commander Relic versus a Slayer Relic, then you're diluting your damage, and I wouldn't recommend it. And Hokibird, Chantel has a counterattack counter, so that's good too. So it kind of works well, right? So Gem Silence, wrong card. Sorry, Chantel is the one that has the counterattack counter, so that works well too. So that's really the one that would be the most annoying. So it's good that you definitely want to keep her then. So Kenny Spin, so you wanted to ask one guild versus guild defender question. Judgment versus Trader, which one's better? Trader, I think. So Judgment is only going to be effective if your opponent heals, but healing isn't really something that attackers would do. And Trader, honestly though, Trader doesn't kill you. So the thing is, like, Trader is not like poison. Trader will reduce your, so the way Trader works is every time an impacted attacker attacks, if it has Trader on it, it will also get attacked back. But it's the amount of damage you take is percentage based. In other words, it's gonna get close to 0, but it will never be 0. And so I think it doesn't really matter. Judgment versus Trader, honestly, it's about the same. But I think that Trader edges out compared to Judgment. So that would be my take on it. But honestly, I just think that because neither debuffs will be able to kill you outright, it won't really make as much of a difference. And that is one of the reasons why you saw here in my deck, you saw my light team. If you look at the H here, I have these wardens that I'm a light defender, and I actually haven't used Pierce Heart because it's Trader, and I've been thinking about it. I mean, like, I'll get some more additional, power boost probably, but that I'm not sure it's going to be as helpful. So, like, here's my guild versus guild team. I haven't actually worked on it a whole lot, to be honest with you. Like, since I've sort of settled here, I got this from from last season, so I'm waiting to see what I get this season, because they also have another light beast warden. I really like it. You can see this is my background. I love this background. I love this team, and so I'm hoping to collect the other one as well. So what I've got here is I've got a counterattack here. I've also got a counterattack right here. So this is definitely one that you want in the first position. It will take out most decks unless they are powerful enough to take it out outright. And then also I've got Alacrity in here to take advantage of, to take care of anybody who tries to turn delay. And then I got Fear in here, and then I think the last one here, just because I like the way she looks, I have Relentless Regen. Not the greatest defender skill, but since she's in the last position, if you're if you get to this point and you don't have the most powerful team, you're just going to be sitting on her for a very long time. And so that's sort of like the way I was thinking about it. And honestly, like I could replace her. At this point, I think she's the weakest of the bunch. I could actually replace her with the with my dragon, if I decide to. I think I have the Bastion shards as well, so Pierce Heart, the Golden Dragon, might just replace her, but it's a lot of effort and a lot of time to evolve and everything. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit. But it does have a pretty good you know it has good power. And if you look at this, I think that this also reminds me a lot of Rilka. If you remember Rilka, it has a very very look where it's kind of walking across, and there's a city in the background with the sun as well. So I think that's actually sort of just reminding me of that. Went on a little tangent and show what I have here, but hopefully that answers your question there. And so Toxin is definitely going to be a better ability, just because it will block. It will actually block. So Toxin blocks battle skills. Like if you have a card that heals and creates power gems, it will completely block it. Toxin actually hurts the K-pop team, for example. So that would be a really good one to use. I actually have a Toxin defender, but we don't have a dark one that takes advantage of that just yet. So I will swap it out if I need to. And so let's see. Tim, don't have any sound. So if you don't know, T-Bone asked a question, but it's Dragoon this week. Yeah, so we're actually going to be getting a water Dragoon. So the Dragoon is going to be like you're going to be able to get the Nicole Dex ability, but it's a Master Collection card as opposed to Ultra Rare. The Ultra Rare card really is the one that is more powerful. And so let's see, Vishal, we have very similar defenders with 4 and 5 being different. Yeah, it's basically similar meta in terms of the cards. These are really the more useful ones. And so that is, so that is the setup I was thinking. We can try this out a little bit. So let's go ahead and try this just to see what it's going to be like. And what can we do? I guess we can go up against a legend boss. That's sort of like the thing to do. We just go up and attack against legend boss, and we are gonna go up against Storm because we actually have Chaotic Killer as well. And so you can see how well this is going to do, how well this is gonna work out if I use the Slayer team, which I'm not, because I'm really just going to use the count, so you can sort of see it. And yeah, so remember the count. What it's gonna do is, the more you attack, the more power gems it creates. Okay, and I have full inventory of relics. Okay, so let's see how many do I need to get rid of. 342. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this, and we just need to clear out 2. So let's go ahead and we will upgrade the Dojin's Axe, and we will. I earned so many of these Orb 1 relics. It actually takes up a lot of space. All right, let's go in and do an attack, just so that we can show how this works. For anybody who is unfamiliar with Halloween style decks, this is going to be the way that you want to play it. And the way you play it is to just keep attacking. Keep attacking until you have what would be the ideal. So 35, that means I'm gonna. So yeah, I'll show you, right? It's going to be 2 plus 2. If I activate right now, I'll create 4 power gems. And then the next time that I activate, the power gems are going to double, right? Because I'm doubling my skill points. And so I'm actually going to be able to get, double everything. And once I get to 300, then it's going to be maximum right there. And I think already at this point, I think I just need to attack one more time. I should be able to already get pretty much a full board gems because I also have Willa on the team. This is this definitely is a much more free to play friendly type deck. And so right now, this card is not going to do anything. It's going to heal me a little bit, but with this right here, you can already see I have pretty much all power gem 3s at this point, but we're not even halfway there yet. The only thing is what's different between the Halloween deck and the reset deck, like you saw there, the reset deck will actually go back down to its original state for how many power gems it can create, whereas with the Halloween type deck, it will always stay at whatever your skill point is. So there is no decrease in that value. You're never going to go down in that, and so you're going to always have a lot of power gems every 3 turns. So it's really not a bad option. So let's see. Excuse me. And if we have just, I think we can attack. We'll need to attack 3 more times before we can actually get damage in. We're not going to get a lot of damage in, to be honest with you. I mean, I do have the killer bonus on right now for the count, but I'm not expecting this to actually deal a ton. So let's just see how well it does. I just want to see the damage output right here. And so basically we're at 300, and so at this point it's also just like, you're always gonna have this. And let's see how much heal we actually get now. This heals based on recovery, so this support card is not powered up, and I don't have any scepters in there. If you put in some earth scepters, you're going to increase the effectiveness of your heal there. And so this is with 3 Willas and also with the count. And so 134, this is actually pretty significant power output right there. And so that's about 150 or so. So every 3 turns I'll be able to do this. And so that's not bad actually. So 300, I think I did 30 times 5, so it's a little bit over 150 billion each attack. So if I did this really fast, I think that this could be it could easily be a, oh no, this is a 4-turn deck, it's not 3-turn deck. I might apologize. So another option here is I could also do this, right? I mean, like, let's see how much damage we do with this. So with this, we deal 13 each plus 26, so that's 39, 65. That's about 80 right there. And if I just go ahead and activate, this is with just the Master Collection card, all right? So so that was 27, I think. I think it was 27. Yeah, so it's 27 there and 19th. So it's almost the same, right? So it actually wasn't too bad there. So you actually do 2 quick attacks right there, and that was actually not too bad there. So we can try this one more time. I think every 3 turns, and we can do a little bit of heal. It's not it's not a significant heal right there. So again, let's take a look here. But the ultra rare card definitely is going to heal a lot better. And so 36, 25. So yeah, so it's about the same. So then it's not a bad option. It's actually not a bad option there. And then and I think the reason why I did less damage that time with Willa is because I had to go back from from the beginning. And so, just you can see here, just one Master Collection card is capable of basically filling up the board right there, and it was able to do 36 billion damage in that one attack. So that is basically how you play this deck. Back in the day, when you would play a true, like, the original Halloween deck, it really is just activate as much as fast as you can, and then you would actually do, I think, 125. You would start at 125 intensity. You activate your thing because it had a 7-turn cooldown. So after that, then you basically keep attacking, and then 7 turns later, you'll just hit maximum 350 intensity. So you can get the full board gems. Like, that was the way people would play. So we played really, really fast. That's when, like, the fast matches really, really mattered, because you had to go through 7 turns before you can activate again. You needed to activate multiple times. With this now, it's 4 turns, so it's a lot easier to handle. And so that's basically, like, you can sort of see the power of this card. If I had the event card, I would also show you. It would have a similar effect. You can see that one single card almost fill up the board, and you can really put any other card that generates power gems or even just regular gems to really sort of support that. So I think that it's a good deck and fun deck to play. And so, yeah, once you have a full team, you can have a lot of health. So I think CU said it's 2 million for some. It depends on, like, how well upgraded you are, for sure. But it is going to be a team that will work out. Okay, why don't you bring it to me? Okay. The Pondering Pigeon, you missed fast matching. Yeah, I had there was a time when I would practice, like, the fast matches, and I think my record was actually within a 20-second fight, I was able to activate my Halloween team 5 times. I think that was my record. I don't think I've ever done 6, but definitely was able to do 5 activations. All right, excuse me 1 second. Okay. After this, do you promise to go to bed? Okay. I'm putting on some Aquaphor for dry lips. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Okay.
Who is that?
Hmm?
Who is that?
It's people on the stream. Okay. Love you. Good night. And so let's see, any other anything else I missed while I was busy there? Let's see. Century Storm under 20 seconds with the full deck. Yeah, so like if you have a killer bonus, then you can definitely do that. And so the ultra rare, yeah, so like ultra rare card will dispel well, but you notice earlier like the heal wasn't quite as large as you might think. And what you could do to help with that is to use what I mentioned earlier, the scepter. So you can do something that that targets Earth, and so this is an Earth scepter. So what you do is you take you take a regular scepter and then you can upgrade it to an affinity scepter. In this case, it's Earth, and what it'll do is it'll increase the recovery of your heroes. And what this will do is this will increase the effectiveness of your cards that heal. So in this case, this one single, in fact, we can show you, right? So if I go ahead and swap out one relic for an Earth Scepter, so you guys are saying hi and good night back to her right now. Yeah, she just left. She's probably gonna be waiting for me to say goodnight to her later. Didn't get a chance to make her. She wasn't able to fall asleep before the stream started, so I'm gonna go back afterwards. And so if you take a look here, having two actually is going to be the most ideal. So in fact, let's go ahead and try that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the codex here, the gear. See if I have any. Let's take a look and see if we have any scepters here. I think I probably got rid of all of them. Oh no, that's not the. So I have just a single Earth scepter. Do I have any 6-star scepters I can upgrade? If I do, then I will do that, because I think having two is actually going to be much more effective than one. It's just like when you use the Grail, like just the Grail by itself sometimes isn't going to give you enough heal, but then as soon as you throw the scepters in there, the heal factor goes up by a significant amount, and that's really going to be helpful. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show that in action so that you can sort of understand how that works. The challenge right now is I don't think I have any more. I have one. So here's an Exultant Saber. So this is a 6-star Exultant Saber, and then you can upgrade this. Let's go ahead and create an Earth Scepter here. So let's go ahead and craft this. I collected so many of these things and I haven't used them for a very long time, so might as well go ahead and take advantage of that. So Joe wants to know, my take on it is all the decks now are good for the event for sure, and I think that this deck, if you do go after the ultimate form, it will be useful for multiple Earth Commander events as well, is my opinion. Like you saw the power of just the Master Collection card by itself. You can see the ultimate form as well. It's just that Commander events nowadays, it's not really at the point where you're going to be in a very long drawn out fight where you're going to have a lot of turns, and you're trying to get the overkill. And so I think that this single card might help with generating enough power gems for the overkill as well, without overwhelming, without accidentally taking it out. So I think if you're going for that, it actually might not be a bad option, but there's a lot of personal preference associated with that. I personally would think that it's weaker than some of the previous decks, but in comparison, this isn't something I think is worthless either. Like, it's not a bad deck. Definitely something I would consider trying out. So I'm gonna level up to 30 now. So let's now try this, and let's go and put that in there as well, and then see. So I'm swapping out a little bit of a power boost for the heal, and so let's go and go against Earth, and then we'll put this in. So you can now probably see, you're gonna see the difference in the heal for the support card. Even the support card should now significantly increase the heal. So we're gonna go ahead and do another 5 times attack here. And so let's see, Judge of All, you could throw multiple mummies in their team over. I actually had a full 5 mummy deck, because so mummy is available in the 20 Dust shop as well, and eventually I ran out of space, so I had to get rid of her. It was sad days, but mummy was one of the cards that everybody had. Everybody wanted the Mummy, and everybody wanted the Vascor. I don't have Vascor. That's the Master Collection card from back in the day. That was at the time, for a very long time, the single most powerful card in the game. It was effective. It was useful for a whole year, and so that's why I say that there is that sort of sentimental value. So I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna wait to get hit a couple more times, and then we're gonna see how well the heal is going to be. So I'm just gonna wait for one more attack here, and so let's see. After this, then I'm going to. Am I getting some passive heals as well? Because I'm seeing my heal going up. So let's go ahead and activate this, and let's see. So you can see now I almost fully heal from there. Like this was like significantly more amount of heal compared to earlier. And so if I were to actually, and this is level 1 too. So if I were to increase the level for this hero, then the heal is going to be even more significant. And the ultra rare card is going to be even better. And so you can sort of see the power of Earth Scepters as well. So if you wanted to play it for the heal, you can sacrifice a little bit of damage and put in the Scepters. It's going to be really useful. So these things are going to help. So the Pondering Pigeon. Reset decks will fill the board faster with K-pop, but there's no green K-pop yet. Yeah, so like I said, there are other mechanics that aren't available just yet. This, I think if I had to give this a rating, out of 10, I would give this a solid 8, 7.5 to 8. Being like 10 is like absolutely gotta get it. This is the deck to go after, and to me, that would be the ones for me, anyways. The K-pop deck, the Yokai deck, and the Nuke deck. Those are the top tier for me right there. See it, get it. Don't ask questions, right? You're not going to regret it. This one, for me, I think it's probably going to be closer to a 7.5 to 8 in that it will do well, but I think it pales in comparison to Reset. So Reset is going to be more fun, and you're going to have a lot of utility with it. But the thing with Reset also is that there's a dependency. Like you can't really take advantage of it unless you have the ultra rare card that can actually reset for you. So I don't like having this dependency. The pro of this deck is that they're basically independent. Each card by themselves are very useful. You can take a card and you can put them in other decks. You can mix and match this deck a lot better than other decks. In other words, you can take this event deck here, you can break it apart and put it into other decks in the future, and you're not going to have a bad time. So that is, to me, the value of this deck. So then that is then up to you as your preference, what kind of play style you have, whether that is something that caters to you, or would you prefer a self-contained deck that will just be very overpowered, in which case I think if that's what you want, saving it for the future might not be a bad idea. So this is going to be my recommendation and like sort of my thinking around this deck right here. Individually, the cards are good on their own. They can be put in any other deck and they will find a place for them. So to me, this is the epitome of deck building requirement. This is a recipe for a good deck that you can build in the future. You can sort of take pieces and make something good out of it. So that's why I don't feel bad crafting a single Master Collection card. Of course, I want the ultimate form if I can, but I don't mind crafting the Master Collection card for this particular reason. And Noelia, I think this is going to be also very fun for our Proving Grounds. And so that would be my take on it, and definitely my recommendation as well. Okay, and so we actually covered quite a bit of topics today. Hopefully this has been a useful stream and also informative enough for you guys as you go into this event here. I'm not really covering the bingo as much as I could. I guess the only thing I wanted to say is that it's gonna be another Fennec event. You can actually ascend your Fennec Wardens. So if you had Fennecs, you can now ascend you can get the eggs, you can send them. So if that's your thing, I know MTM is big on Fennecs. So if you love them, then definitely has more incentive. For me, I'm gonna be giving my pumpkins away to people who are looking for them. So I'm not really gonna be too worried about that. And so Angel, you need a plan for the little one to crash the stream next and let her hit the button to open my... that's true. I should have waited for her to open. I think she can bring some good luck there. Talked about that last time. And Westfall. So what deck is this Earth version of? So Westfall, this is the Halloween version from, if you look in Generation 2, it's the deck with Alex and Soul Thresher, as well as Pumpkin Queen and Baleful Bride. And in Generation 1, just the basic Mummy deck. So that is basically what it's Earth version of. And Chroma sucks. You might have gone over this and missed it, but the bingo part with the Fennecs we're chasing after for, not really. The Fennecs are not. I mean, you can now ascend the Fennecs, and that was one of the reasons why people weren't using Fennecs for Wardens. So I think if you're free to play and you have an option to ascend a Warden, then why not? To me, I already have a Guild versus Guild team that I'm happy with, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, totally. It's total blast from the past. So she might change my stream opening luck. I know I haven't had the greatest luck in a few streams, but I think that's just kind of the reality of it. Like I've had a couple of streams where I got really lucky, but not this time around. So it just, it comes and goes. But I will see if she crashes my stream again next time and I haven't opened packs yet, I'll just let her open it. But she might have fallen asleep at this point, so we'll see. But yeah, my wife is gonna have a laugh at this too. I think it's pretty funny. And so let's see, are they bringing haunted bosses this event? They haven't said anything. I don't think I saw anything in the news feed for it. But then again, who knows? Like these things might just come in. So Halloween, so they got sale, they got the bingo, an earthly boost. So we talked about the scroll. Scroll's going to be amazing. Use it sparingly, but you do have to make sure you use them all. Pumpkin coin redemption, that's going to be the bingo balls, and then crafting confirmation. I think that's a great change so that you don't accidentally spend your gems. And I think, so Fennecs, and they have the Halloween relic, which we talked about, and the killer guide. So I don't think they said anything about different bosses. I'm not sure people liked haunted bosses all that much, to be honest with you. But we'll see. If they decide to change that, then we will find out tomorrow. And do not expose your child to gambling. So it would obviously be, it would be done in a way that wouldn't. So yes, I totally understand what you're saying there, Mount Fillmore. But I think for her it'd just be fun to press the button here, just to do something that Daddy likes. I think that's how she sees it. But anyway, so that's it for me. I think for this stream here, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the network app, and also you can put in the comments below. Again, I'm running a mini contest for anybody who's currently in my channel. It's a pumpkin carving contest. Take a look for details as to what it entails and what's at stake here. It's really for fun. There's nothing big there, but take a look at my post. I will be posting it, and check it out. So again, thanks very much for all of your time. This was actually a really, really good stream. I really enjoyed it. I think that this was really helpful, and we've got some really good discussions there. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to be signing off here, and then I'll try to come back on the regular time on Thursday as well, where we can talk about deck building. I think this deck lends itself well to working with previous decks for some deck ideas. And who knows, I might even try having a combination of the sort of the previous mummy versus the current mummy combination, see how that works out. And so we will get back together then. And until then, hopefully have a good event, have a good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are. So thank you very much, everyone.